Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Welcome once again to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger, the podcast where we watch an episode of the televisual production Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and subsequently to that, we discuss it somewhat. This is episode number 68. We'll be watching the episode entitled The Power Stealer. Yeah, that's it. I'm Matt. Michael's here. Howdy. Tim's back.
I'm back. And Frank's here again.
Frank is here again. Join us once again. You chose to return. A brave choice. Commendable, I would say. Michael.
Yeah.
Do we have anything we need to talk about?
We do have some things we need to talk about, Matt.
That's good. I'm glad. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a podcast. I rely on you for these things.
That's true. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what the first thing is.
Okay.
I'm just going to play it for you, and then we can talk about it. So we'll be back to sec.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so what we just watched is Power Rangers version of the Star Wars teaser trailer.
Very loosely. The Millennium Falcon is just the Millennium Falcon.
Look, I think it's missing a trick by not having the Millennium Falcon appear to Go-Go Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But other than that, BB-8, is that his name?
I think
the
so.
little ball droid
Yeah.
has Alpha 5's head.
It says AI. That was cute. I think seeing an army of bulks
That's
is
terrifying.
terrifying.
No one should have to see that.
No, I'd agree with you there.
Yeah, Rita and TIE Fighter.
Yep.
Good fun. Yeah. Quality at 7.
Yep. Okay. Second thing is, you may know there's a number of Power Rangers fan films out there on the internet. It seems to be a fairly popular thing.
Yes.
Because, for a number of reasons, including reasons that the show itself uses,
Yeah.
it's reasonably straightforward to shoot and work with.
That and the fact that people who were 5 to 7
Are also now the right age to be making videos on YouTube
They've
and
just
stuff.
graduated from film school.
Alright, so one of those is called Zordon of Eltar.
Yep.
Look, I think with most of these, the likelihood of them ever getting finished and getting released and becoming a thing is unlikely.
Yep.
But this one has released a trailer.
Yep.
So let's watch that, and
Yep.
then we can talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
Well, I'm certainly impressed with the amount of effort that went into that.
That's a lot of work.
It is
The
a lot of
production
work.
quality is amazing.
Yeah.
It is quite good.
For a fan film.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it suffers from the problem that a lot of fan films suffer from. And that's the subject matter, because of the way it was originally produced, just doesn't support a serious take on it.
Yep.
The narrative framework, because it was so rushed out, you can't, watching that and trying to imagine the television series that followed,
Yes.
it just doesn't follow it, because the young reader in that, you can't pass that with the crazy old lady that you get.
I mean,
later on.
10,000 years. It's a long time.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just, I think that sort of work and craftsmanship and attention to detail is probably unwarranted, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I mean, Matt, you were saying that as we record episode 68 of a podcast where we spend more than double the length of an episode talking about an episode.
I understand that, but the part of the reason this works is because the show is so crazy and inconsistent.
Yes.
And that very thing is what creates problems for this sort of endeavour, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it's done, I think I'll be happy to sit and watch it.
Yeah.
I agree with
Definitely
you.
worth a crack, yeah.
There's definitely kind of questions about how serious a take you can do on Power Rangers as a prequel to the TV series and not a reboot that lets
That's right.
you...
If you want to do a reboot and rejigger the tone significantly so it's more appropriate for older people, then absolutely. But yeah, as a prequel, there's not a lot of wiggle room left for you there tonally,
I hope we see Alpha Alpha, the first Alpha.
That would be pretty great. And I mean, it's got that sort of Gotham vibe of it's cool to see things that you know before you initially recognize them. But you also get that sort of okay, you're shoehorning stuff in now when you see, the White Rangers sigil on an aircraft and stuff like that. It's kind of, Like that
I
scene.
don't know. I think to their advantage, the first 3-4 seasons of the show are really tied together to a consistent mythology.
Yeah.
Which means that, like, the machine empire existing
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense because even though no one's thought of them yet in the episode we're up to,
Yeah.
in theory they already exist in the universe.
Totally. Yeah. Look, I think it's something that I would watch.
Sure. Well, there you go. That's got Matt's something I would watch, seal of approval. But I've sat with Matt while we watched The Room, so there's a lot of things that Matt would be willing to watch. That it's not really a great sign.
It's a broad spectrum, we'll put it that way.
Okay, the Power Stealer.
Alright, we'll do that now.
How many Rangers do you think get their powers stolen?
Probably none. To be
High
frank.
hopes, man.
Just know I was going to get one.
I feel like next episode they'll probably also have powers.
Oh no, I mean they'll get returned to them.
Right.
But I think at least one Ranger will lose their powers temporarily.
I think
Two?
two is my guess.
Do you want to guess which two? So when it turns out you're right, we can all be amazed.
It's gonna be Zach and Trini.
Interesting.
They're gonna get their powers stolen.
Okay. Do you think one Ranger will lose their powers? Matt thinks none.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, like, if it was me, it would be the 5 of them, and Tommy has to use the last of his powers.
Problem with that is it's a really good idea.
Yes. Okay, this
you
show
know.
has made you dark and cynical, Matthew. Alright, let's watch the Power Stealer, and I guess we'll tell you how many Rangers lost their powers after the break.
And we're back. That was the Power Stealer.
Yep.
Can I say I win?
Yeah, unfortunately, no one got their powers stolen. I mean, a couple of people got sucked into the thing that was meant to steal powers. They just...
Didn't get their powers stolen.
No.
So, I think that's a win.
Hauntingly reminiscent of Mr. Tickle Sneeze's goodie jars.
I think this is the third monster
That
that has
sucks
sucked
into
people
jars.
into some sort of bottle or jar.
You know, that's just how it works.
It's just a strange trope, you know? I got the impression that this episode was shot significantly after the last one.
Why?
Well, Tommy's hair, for one, is out of control. Like, it is huge. And Zach seems to be starting to grow his dreads that we see in the opening credits.
It aired the day after.
Yeah, I just feel like there's probably a different production block or something.
Let me have a look. It was produced immediately after Bloom of Doom, so the Green Dream was actually shot slightly later.
Oh, okay. Maybe not. Maybe I was just wrong.
That's fine, it happens. Take it from the top.
Sure. So we start off with good old-fashioned community news, reporting on the hard-hitting stories that matter, like kids are picking up rubbish.
Yep. This is the second
This happens a lot,
cleanup-related episode we've had in 68 episodes.
Yeah.
There are other community service things these kids could be doing, right?
The park seemed pretty filthy though, so...
Yeah, well, a few bad adult apples don't care what Angel Grove looks like. Tim.
Right, I mean, look, that's the problem in any community.
There's rumours that the Power Rangers will show up to the community cleanup day,
They show up a fair bit, so that's fair enough.
Yeah.
but the Rangers wouldn't know anything about that. Zach, in particular, is a terrible liar.
He has no idea. No idea about the Power Rangers.
No.
No
Which
clue
he
who
has to,
they
like...
are.
People basically have to nudge him to go, like, you remember you don't know who the Power Rangers are? Bulk and Skull enjoy being on TV.
Yes. Which is canonical. Yeah, we know that.
This whole thing is shot through, like, a fake TV camera, handheld lens style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's like, look, it's different.
Yeah, totally. No, I'm not disagreeing.
We finally find out why Bulk and Skull want to know who the Power Rangers are.
To become rich and famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I sort of pieced that one together.
Well, yeah, but that's the first time it's ever been explicitly said. It's not like they just want to know because they want to know who they are.
It's not because they're curious and adventurous people.
No, they don't no, they just would like to become famous. So Bulk has a plan.
Yep.
When the Rangers show up,
Yep.
they'll be on camera. They'll run up, take their helmets off.
Yank their helmets off, I believe, to turn.
Yep. And
everyone will know.
everyone will know. As far as they know, the Power Rangers could be like aliens who will die if their helmets are removed.
Yeah, I don't think they care. They're bad people, Michael.
They've just decided that they must be like
People
with secret identities.
I mean, they look people-like and they sound like people.
in fairness, they have English-speaking human voices.
I will say, a year from now, we get a team of Power Rangers who literally are aliens, who look human and speak with human voices.
Well, they don't know. They have weird water voice.
Well, yeah, but that's because they're from Aquitar.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. They sound like
Those
they're
aren't
probably
normal
humans.
voices.
Anyway, so Lord Zed says that the Rangers clearly like the town being clean and pretty. What does Goldar say about that, Matt?
I can't remember. What does he say about that?
You've literally got it written down.
Oh, that's right. It's one of their most disgusting traits. Which is an interesting thing to say about people who like clean things.
Yep. Especially because Lord Zed's throne room is
Well kept.
relatively, nice and neat. There's a lot of fog, but
It does seem especially put on, this, especially when he says we're going to get our most disgusting monster ever, which is basically just an octopus dude.
What I love about that is that Lord Zed goes, I'll send down the most disgusting monster I can think of. I expected like a cut there, but he's like, an octopus and an elephant. That's it. I got it. Like, job done.
and so it's the Octo Phantom, a cross between an octopus and an elephant, and apparently Narcissus as well, but we'll get to that. So the Power Rangers are cleaning up.
Yep.
Putties come down.
They do come down.
Tommy, Kimberly, and Jason say that, we'll take care of this. They tell the heroic camera guy to go and, take care of everyone else.
Hysterically shepherd the people away.
It does look for a bit like he's just going to start running away as well, but he does appear to herd them somewhat.
I do like to see the camera guy freaking out about putties and, Bulk and Skull, calling them putties because everyone would have to know
by now.
Months into what has been
A
siege
terror
from
attack,
moon
yes.
monsters. You'd have to, the public would have to have names for them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how they settled on the same name as Rita Repulsa did for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they don't really look like putty.
Well, again, we've discussed the Power Rangers media department before the issue's press releases.
That's fair.
I expect that.
Attention, from now on the grey dudes are to be referred to as putty patrollers, or putties for short.
Yeah.
Alright, so the Octo Phantom is going to trap the Rangers in jars and drain their powers.
So the Octo Phantom appears, and it's this point in the episode where I realised that I'd seen this episode before as a kid. I was telling Michael a while ago that an episode we've got coming up soon I definitely remember seeing.
Yep.
But it's actually this one I think may have even been the first episode that I saw as a kid.
Wow.
Because I remembered Octo Phantom, but then I was like, oh, maybe he's one of the monsters that gets reused later.
Yes.
But then we get to that ridiculous mirror shield, and I'm like, I've definitely seen this before.
The Octo Phantom does return.
Yes.
But I can't imagine the mirror shield makes a comeback.
I don't expect so. So, yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
We just got to the first episode you remember.
Yeah. And maybe it's my nostalgia talking, but it's not as bad as some of the previous episodes. So I'm happy.
What did you think? You saw a pretty rough one last week.
It seemed very similar to last week's.
Yeah.
It seems like 80% of each episode could be from last week, and they just substitute the monsters in the close-ups.
That's not incorrect.
Yeah, yeah. That's remarkably close to the truth. I think we can all agree. Okay, so the Octo Phantom captures Tommy.
Yeah.
There's lots of ominous slow zooms in this on the camera that's still recording.
Yeah.
Now, it's this point I've decided that what Power Rangers really need is the technology that the Thunderbirds have, and it's that little flashing light that lets you know when something's being recorded around them. So if they had that, they'd be set.
You really like the Thunderbirds.
I really like the Thunderbirds.
We should have done a Thunderbirds podcast.
Hey guys, did you see that teaser trailer for the new Thunderbird series coming in 2015?
It's like 10 seconds long.
It's enough, Michael. I love the
It's like a single shot of the space station.
I think that's Thunderbird 5, Michael.
Well, whatever the fuck it is, Matt. We're not doing Mighty Morphin Thunderbird Danger. The only Thunderbird I know is the Thunderbird Phoenix Megazord.
Alright.
Zord.
Alright. Fine. Fine. Let's go back to talk about Power Rangers then.
Hey, if you wanted to do Thunderbirds, we could have done Thunderbirds. You didn't give me a set of options and we chose this.
That is becoming more and more clear.
Okay, so Bulk and Skull run up to the camera once the putties have been taken care of.
Yeah.
At that point, they are literally 30 seconds from figuring out the identity of the Power Rangers.
No. You can't necessarily watch on the camera.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah?
Yeah. They'd have a video playback.
Yeah.
But they don't use that. They take the videotape.
Well, they're stupid.
It doesn't end well for them, but we'll get to that. So, Tommy is trapped in another dimension where he's tied to like a crystal
An obelisk?
rock thing.
It does look like some sort of obelisk, doesn't it?
And Lord Zed says...
It's like the Washington Monument, but like little.
Smaller. Slightly
and
smaller.
like red.
Yeah.
In no time at all, you'll be a powerless shell. This show is not afraid to make Lord Zed just go all out.
Yeah. It's a really dark thing to say, but also just kind of like strangely specific. I
Yeah.
mean, why a shell? Anyway.
Okay, so back at the command center,
Yeah.
we see that the Octo Phantom is vandalizing the Pacific Heritage Monuments, or small Easter Island heads.
Yeah.
He's literally come down with like a bucket and a
A
paintbrush.
paintbrush and
And
he
he's
like
paint-
put a nostril on it or something. Like,
He's not doing anything that I don't think you could fix.
yeah.
I love that one of, like, a very evil thing that Lord Zed thought to do was go down and put some paint on
And
a
graffiti
statue.
some statues. Especially because if the Octo Phantom had just appeared down there, they would have gone to
anyway.
fight it anyway.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They don't need an external reason.
Like, I understand that this is a kid's show and they're trying to, like, communicate
they've got a
that
message
graffiti
as
is
well,
bad. But it's also like sometimes
And
graffiti
also,
is art.
also
you know?
they probably had that footage of the Octo Phantom painting on a tiki head, and we're like, all right, well,
Yeah, but what were the Japanese up to with that? Like, they were doing the same thing, you know what I mean?
all right. So they fight the Octo Phantom, and
Sorry, I was just thinking about the visual of that. He dips the paintbrush in the bucket and then applies it with a paintbrush. He doesn't grab the bucket and he just like throws it
no,
on
Matt,
the
there's
statue.
several monuments he has to take care of. He has to ration his paint
Okay.
very carefully.
He's a shit there.
Otherwise, you just have one vandalized monument, Matt. That's not even a felony.
Okay, I apologise. Continue.
So Billy hangs back
Yeah.
to see if he can discover the Octo Phantom's weakness.
Should do that more often.
Dave, can you tell me what the Octo Phantom's weakness is?
No.
The Octo Phantom's weakness is vanity.
He is incredibly vain.
He sees himself in like a hot dog cart or
Yeah.
something shiny and silver,
Something reflective.
and that distracts him for like a minute.
That must have been when I fell asleep.
Yeah, I think that was when you fell asleep.
Now, what I kind of actually legitimately like about this is that it's not like a fancy woman monster.
No,
Like,
that's fair enough.
It's like, oh, I'm a woman, so I'm obsessed with my looks. It's a hideous male octopus that has
It is a
vanity problem.
disgusting looking monster.
It is, yeah, one of the more terrible looking creatures. I mean, Lord Zed designed it as the most disgusting monster he could think of.
Yeah. So yeah, I quite like that it's sort of breaking type a bit there. It's like the vain creature is the strange octopus man.
Who thinks he looks killer today?
Yeah. Which is interesting because later we'll get to a lady monster that is literally a giant lipstick. But that's not the one that has the vanity problem, it's the octopus. So yeah, that was curious. But like, yeah. I approve of that
Fair enough.
choice.
So he gets Trini and Zach and Kimberly.
Yeah.
He doesn't get Billy and Jason, who managed to escape.
So they're the two remaining
Yep.
rangers.
So the Octo Phantom says, if you want to try and save them, meet me down at the quarry. For no really good reason, but
It's a nice place to fight.
No one around, no one get
hurt.
hurt.
Yeah. Low collateral, you know.
so back at the command center, Jason, there's no time to waste. So Jason's going to go directly to the quarry while Billy builds a device to exploit his vanity.
Yeah. Builds a device.
Matt, describe what he makes. Tell them now.
He makes a shield which folds open to reveal a mirror.
Yep. That's
Now,
a device. It's got a button.
It is technically a
That's
device.
the definition. If it's got
Now,
a button,
That's
it's a
true.
device.
It does have a button you can
In-
press.
In the past 3 or 4 episodes, Billy has now had to make 2 devices to defeat a monster. they have both been mirrors.
That's true.
I don't want to pigeonhole Billy, but I feel like his intelligence is just a fondness for mirrors.
I mean, who doesn't like mirrors?
And the device that he makes is needlessly complicated. He just needed to purchase a mirror.
I mean, yeah, but then it wouldn't have had that sweet Triceratops-branded.
It's about that surprise reveal when you're up and close so you can shoot him in the snout.
with a mirror. Yeah, look, it's not... I think device is a stretch, is all I'm saying. It's just a mirror.
I think Billy suffers from the problem of when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, that's right.
Like when
Yes,
all you
so
have
mirrors.
is a workshop, every problem looks like you should build a device. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm curious as to where he found time to paint his Triceratops symbol on the front.
No, it wasn't painted. It was a physical, like, molded coin. He's just got those ready. He just epoxies it on.
Get his hot glue gun out and just...
Yeah. But not before bandsawing it in half, so that when the
It's
mirror
open,
opens,
yeah.
it opens up.
So, Billy goes up to rescue the other Rangers, who now, instead of being in a dimension, are just at the quarry.
It's hard to free other people if they're in the wrong dimension.
Oh no, I agree with you there. That's why it's a terrible move for the Octo Phantom.
Not a strong plan. Not a strong plan.
So Tommy wants to get back into the fight, but Billy thinks he's too weak.
So Billy's untied them all now.
Yes, and he forces Tommy to teleport by tapping his morpher.
Yeah. Didn't know that was a thing,
Nope,
but it is now.
Yep.
Apparently it's just a button. Big old teleport button.
it's a device.
Makes you wonder why. So, like, if the Rangers punch the putties in their Z thing,
Yep.
they explode into bits. Presumably, if the putties punch the Rangers in their morphers, they'd be forced to teleport to the command center.
I guess.
And they would win, question mark?
Well, I mean, I think the goal is to kill them. So forcing them back to their home base.
Well, it depends on the situation. Like, they could force them back to their home base and then murder some people. And that'd be like a victory of sorts.
It's a sort of compound plan, a two-stage plan. It's probably one stage too many for the players.
Alright, so anyway, Jason is about to get attacked by the Octo Phantom.
Yeah.
But he's up close. So he pops the button on the shield, the mirror pops out, Octo Phantom is distracted long enough for Jason to roll out and just shoot him point blank. Just in the face.
Just shoot him in the trunk.
It does raise the question why he couldn't have just taken a step back and shot him in the face.
Because he wasn't distracted by his vanity, man.
Okay.
Only use your weapons for defense or shooting other people in the face.
When they're looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
At that point, I think you could comfortably say it was for defense.
Anyway, so Lord Zed makes the Octo Phantom grow.
Yep.
I have a note on the summoning of the Thunder Megazord.
Yep.
Last week it was summoned with "We need Thunder Megazord power now."
Yep.
This week it was summoned with "We need Thunderzord power now."
Yep. That's much cleaner. I like it more.
I'm just surprised. Yeah, I mean, technically they're only summoning the Thunderzords at that point.
Yep.
I'm just surprised that they had like multiple takes of it. That there isn't just one version of that whole sequence that they use all the time.
I don't think they had multiple takes. I think they just dubbed the footage differently.
Yeah, but why would you dub it again? Why
Because
not
they
just
realised
do
they fucked it up the first time?
But they got it right the week before. Last week was a different one to normal. How does that happen?
I don't know, all I can guess is that they weren't quite sure which one was the best.
It's definitely Thunderzord.
Yeah, and
It's
then
smoother.
they made it easy. Yeah,
Sure.
an iterating miracle.
Okay. So in this fight, the Octo Phantom actually punches the Megazord.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about this
Finger jab.
because we've been watching footage that was cut up because the Japanese footage wasn't fighting that Megazord.
Yes.
So we only gave us a one or the other, and then reaction shots. In this fight, we basically get that again, except there's a handful of sequences where...
Literally one shot and they play it twice.
Right, okay, one shot.
The answer is the Octo Phantom comes back actually several times.
Right, okay.
So
So they just grabbed that
They
footage.
grabbed
cut
like
it in.
whatever one of those they already had access to.
Yeah.
They used it.
They use.
There you go.
Okay, right. Well, that explains that. So it's still not a proper
Fight. Because that would require taking a whole fight that they presumably were going to use in the future.
Yeah. Now, how far away are we from seeing some actual Thunderzord fights?
Longer than you'd like.
Okay, that's surprising.
Don't get your hopes up. Look, they destroy the Octo Phantom.
Yep.
Fight done. Those fights, until they get to be real lifted fights,
Yeah.
are
Not
basically
ideal.
nothing.
Yeah.
So Bulk and Skull come back to the youth centre. They've got the tape. They want to put it into the tape player and watch the tape.
Good plan.
Yep, great. Definitely the next step in that plan. Jason stops them. He puts his hand over the flap. The tape's not labelled, he says. And, you wouldn't want to accidentally lose the tape.
That's true.
If I can be honest, what I was expecting was for Bulk and Skull to have fucked it up somehow and have it just come out as a tangled tape.
Yeah.
But that's no. So Zach grabs the tape, swaps it with just another tape lying on the cart that Billy grabs, and gives them back the other tape.
Because here it is, all labelled, ready to go.
If they play it, it's some sort of children's cartoon.
It's the Magic School Bus.
Is it the Magic School Bus?
It's the Magic School Bus.
I didn't quite recognise it, but it certainly could have been the Magic School Bus.
It's the Magic School Bus. And God knows why they've got a tape of the Magic School Bus sitting on their news equipment. But that's fine.
Probably because it aired on the same network.
Yes.
Would be my guess. Because the rights were easy to clear.
Right. But we discovered that Skull fucking loves the Magic School Bus.
I mean, who doesn't? Is
Deep
the
into
real
Magic School
question.
Bus. To the point where we finally see Skull be assertive and
Yep.
stand up to Bulk because Bulk is talking and Skull really wants to watch the Magic School Bus.
It's good to see.
Yeah, it's good to see. Odd that this is when it comes out now, but that's fine.
So the Rangers gather and Jesus Christ, that was really actually close.
Yeah.
Because that was just footage of two of us morphing.
Yeah, the camera literally filmed them morphing. It would have been bad.
So Zach says, okay, I've got two objections to the dialogue that happens next. Let's handle them in order. The first is that Zach says, like I always say, the hand is quicker than the eye.
Never said
Which is not something he's ever said before, even in the episode where he actually did magic.
That's true.
Right?
He was an illusionist for
Yes.
a period. Yeah.
Issue 2 is that Jason then says, especially when you switch tapes with Billy.
The thing is that the tape switch was so over in the guise of the camera.
Yes.
There was
it's not
no
like,
need for
It's
that.
not like they did that trickily, and then this was Jason explaining
how it was done.
how it was done, kids.
Not the case.
No, we watched them swap tapes, and Billy
Almost in slow
said,
motion.
here you go.
I do kind of like it though, as further characterization of Jason being that idiot who explains jokes.
Yeah,
to
he's
people.
not dumb. It's not that he's not following.
Yeah.
But he's just not conversationally quick enough to know
That
this doesn't
everyone's
mean
got
saying
it. And
Exactly.
especially when you switch tapes with... Fuck off, Jason.
Jason's great.
I'll admit, Matt started this podcast very anti-Jason.
Yeah.
And I think Jason has grown on you.
I've definitely come around, absolutely.
Which is good because he's got about 12 episodes left, and then Rocky comes, who you hate even more.
That's much more. Many magnitudes.
I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest.
Well, it's going to be an odd day because we get the worst Power Ranger and the best Power Ranger.
Wait, do you really think he's the worst Power
I
Ranger?
can't think of a worse one off the top of my head.
Many people would say Justin.
No, I don't think so. I would say Rocky is much worse than Justin.
I can't wait until we get up to seeing how bad Rocky is, and it turns out that he's entirely neutral and nothing special. Okay, Octo Phantom on the creature feature.
Yeah, look, he was, again, the third monster we've had that he's gimmick is sucking people into bottles.
Yep, sure.
So the originality of that one is sort of wearing a bit thin.
Little upset that neither octopus or elephant played a part
Not even
at all.
No.
At all. Not once.
And even elephant, he barely looked anything like an elephant.
He had a
He
trunk.
had a trunk, was what they were going for.
But-
But that trunk just looked like a tube.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he never
cut off
forgot
tentacles.
to
Did
try
you
and
do
kill
that?
the
No.
Power Rangers.
Sorry?
He never forgot to try and kill the Power Rangers.
I see what you did there. I don't approve of it. You're a bad person.
Move on, Michael.
Jesus. Okay, Octo Phantom. High, low, middle.
I would say definitely bottom half. What's your feeling? I feel like I've been dominating this conversation recently.
Yeah, I don't have really strong feelings about that, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
That's why I let you make the decisions.
Right. Look, no worse than Giant, I would say.
Okay. Worse than Samurai Fan Man? One of the other bottle monsters?
No, at least he was a samurai.
Okay.
Who's on the list? We've got, I would say just below Samurai Fan Man. They can go together.
Okay, above the Spit Flower.
Yeah. He's also two, positions away from Octo Plant.
Oh
So
yeah, wow.
he's now very close to another bottle monster and another octopus monster.
Well, where he belongs, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Not high on the list.
And there was also Pine Octopus. This show really likes octopuses.
Sure does. But we are like on our 67th monster or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
I can understand why we might be reusing some stuff. But I'm hoping in the next couple episodes we get something that'll, like a monster that'll crack the top 30.
Well, I mean, next week's episode 69, is called The Beetle Invasion.
Yeah.
So I assume we'll get John, Paul, George and Ringo.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be great if they were Beatles and they gave them all Liverpool accents? That would be the best. That would actually be the top monster that this show has produced. By far.
It's
There would be
not-
no question.
It's not impossible because we did have the
With the
Lizardator,
Lizardator, yeah.
a lizard that had Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That would be
knockoff.
better in my mind than Pudgy Pig and Shell Shock and Terratoad and Rapping. I would like that more than I like Rapping Pumpkin.
You don't mean it.
I do.
You don't mean it.
I do.
That's too far, Michael.
Well, we'll find out next week when we all get incredibly disappointed.
Okay. I look forward to it, as I ever do.
Do you have anything to say about your second episode, Power Rangers ever?
As I said, it's very much like the one that came before. I'll come around for another one day and see if they improve.
Yeah!
We've got to wait like 3 years until they actually improve to invite him back.
Alright, cool. We'll make a note somewhere.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
Yeah, of course.
And thank you, listeners. Thank you for listening. Send us an email and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, bye guys.